President Trump has long called out CNN, saying it's biased and fake news. Take a listen to what he said today about the network's latest embarrassment, threatening the man who made that wrestling video.
I think what CNN did was unfortunate for them. As you know, now they have some pretty serious problems. They have been fake news for a long time. NBC is equally as bad, despite the fact that I made them a fortune with The Apprentice, but they forgot that. What we want to see in the United States is honest, beautiful, free, but honest press. We don't want fake news. Bad thing, very bad for our country.
Of course, that led to another volcanic eruption from the liberal media.
For the president to then go off on CNN as fake news, to me, just made this entire spectacle seem like a fake news conference.
American presidents traveling abroad typically uphold American values such as press freedom and the institution of the presidency. Mr. Trump, for his own reasons, did not.
All right, Greg, so President Obama used to call on the Washington Post and NBC News and the New York Times, and that wasn't a fake press conference. But if President Trump calls on someone from a conservative outlet, the guy Jim Acosta from CNN says it's a fake news conference.
The thing is, the press keeps losing this fight because they're out of practice. No one has come at them like this about their biases or their assumptions. They're basically like a prize fighter who spent the last 3 years eating Twinkies and drinking Yoo-Hoo. Every time they jump in the ring...
Delicious.
Yeah, it sounds pretty good. But every time they jump into the ring with Trump, they get winded, and then they fall down. And you have to admit, he's a different beast altogether. He's a real estate developer from Queens. He's not a Harvard, getting a law degree at Harvard, so he talks differently. But what kills him is that the media has nothing in common with him, but he has more in common with the people, so he can reach the people, but they can't reach him or the people. And to them, it drives them crazy. Scott Adams said it best. He said it: a 71-year-old man is making the press look old.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Right.
They look like they're whining and complaining.
Well, so Jeff Bezos, I don't know, this just came to me, but he has a new book out about basically how you have to evolve or die, right? And so then he's talking about it from a business perspective, and I think that it's true that the media hasn't quite caught up, that there is a new paradigm, and you can figure out a way to shift. It doesn't mean you have to lose your principles. I mean, I love the news. I love reading it. I love being a part of it. I get a chance to work in it. It's the best. And I love the fact that our country has a First Amendment, because I think it's made it so fabulous, and that I do think that is one of the things that we should be talking about around the world. But that doesn't mean that journalism can't actually hold itself up to higher standards, which it should do. The complaint also about the David Matosco who got the question, the truth is, any of those reporters that want to make the news, you would have asked that same question, because that was the top story yesterday. They always want to talk about themselves. They went after him because he says he interviewed to be the press secretary when they were talking back then about making a change. But the truth is, in the Obama administration, they had all sorts of reporters that we dealt with in the Bush administration as reporters, who then went on to work. I mean, probably 10 or 12 that I can think of just off the top of my head.
Jay Carney, like you said, became
the White House press secretary.
Exactly.
He was Time Magazine bureau chief.
Kimberly, I feel like the media thinks that freedom of the press means that you can't criticize them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. So they want to step on, the president's First Amendment rights? Like, he's not, this is who he is. This is how he campaigned. This is how he's been now as president. And so when they continue to cry and whine about it, I don't think it's serving their purpose very well, from a strategy standpoint. I mean, do your job. Go write some great stories. Try and build back your credibility, because the more you whine and complain, the more you help make his case.
What do you think, Juan?
I mean, to me, Jeff Zucker of NBC said it right when he said, this guy's trying to bully us, and we're not going to be bullied by it. So he goes out
CNN
on the
now. Jeff Zucker
is CNN, but I mean, but NBC and CNN are saying that the president's actions, his words, basically amount to ignore the rest of the press, ignore established American institutions like the New York Times, Washington Post, NBC, CBS. No, listen to me. Only listen to me. Go to my Twitter feed, pick up my meme where I'm slamming CNN on the ground. I just think this is ridiculous, and especially when you go overseas and do this on the world stage.
He was
So
asked a question.
No, but he is performing
Twitter
on the
is-
world stage
but by the
as
way,
our president,
Twitter
and
is
he's
the world
going
stage
on about
already.
grudges and anger. And so, to me, it's just disappointing.
Are you disappointed, Dana?
No, I'm not surprised. But I want to
She's
make
just
one
fine.
small point. So the Daily Mail, which is the paper or the outlet, I shouldn't say just paper, that Martosco works for, it's one of the most highly trafficked websites in the world, including Europe.
Correct.
Probably the best.
Because if you were overseas and you wanted the president of the United States to answer a question from the biggest newspaper in that area, the one that most people around the world read, I would have called on them too, but that the media didn't say. The second question went to NBC News. So there's no suppression here, as far as I can tell.
Absolutely.
Very
Well,
good. All right.